it so bad I'm about to pass out. Wanna dig you, and I can't even lie about it, baby. Just alleviate your clothes, I'm the fly about it. Catch you at the club, your hips have got me feeling body talking to me, but I can't comprehend the meaning.
God damn you! Nigga, the way you so gangster,
up and down like a roller coaster. Can I come inside you? I ain't stopping till the show is over. Cause I'm about it, in and out just like a flopper.
Does it not bother anyone that today's modern woman is quite literally the worst woman in human history? Marriage has as much value to a man as a 304 sexual past. And I love you from a woman is more fake than the cake stuffed in Kim Kardashian's ass. How many men do you know that can honestly say they're a higher value man than Will Smith? Yet we gotta watch this level 99 Jezebel Jada, and her name ain't Jada, her name should be Adeline because she out of line for hopping online and embarrassing the hell out of her husband. Or is it her husband, seeing as they apparently have been separated since 2016. My question is, why bring that man to the red table and expose that you was a throat goat goblin to the whole damn world for your son's best friend if Will wasn't your husband at the time? See, being evil like that is why Jada lost her damn hair. Lying on Tupac saying he had alopecia. He ain't had no alopecia, and neither does Jada. Jada is a damn supervillain, and all the best supervillains are bald-headed. And it seems like it's every day that she's dropping some embarrassing ass stories with no respect or regard for her somewhat ex-husband's reputation.
Oh, I know you done lost your motherfucking mind now. Whew. Whew. What the hell you just hit me with? Bitch, you just hit me with a fucking missile. Your goddamn thing.
And the worst thing about misentanglement is she's got an entanglement of damn lies that she's telling about Tupac, and the man ain't here to defend himself.
Jada's lying, and I have the timeline to prove it. Jada is currently on her Pay Attention to Me tour, and she is making all these wild claims, including that Tupac proposed to her while he was at Rikers. Really? The math isn't mathing, so let's take a look. Tupac was convicted of sexual assault charges on February 8th, 1995. From there, he was sent to Rikers Prison, only to be transferred less than a month later to Clinton Correctional Facility. And she specifically said she went to see him. This was not on the phone.
Book when I go to see him in Rikers, probably one of the more painful parts. Seeing him there, the condition that he was in, and having to leave him there.
Cool. So prior to going into Rikers, Tupac already had a girlfriend named Keisha. He proposed to Keisha, her words, in a September 2011 interview. He proposed to Keisha before he even went into prison. They were already engaged. They got married in April. And in the time that he got sentenced and was taken to prison, Keisha actually moved closer to be by him and be by the prison and saw him on a near daily basis.
When he asked me to get married, he was at Rikers.
So you're telling me that in the 3 to 4 week window that he was at Rikers, engaged to another woman who had moved closer to the prison and was there almost every day, Tupac proposed to Jada. But hey, Jess, you might be saying to yourself, Tupac wasn't known to be a one-woman man. He was no angel. Fair enough. Let's see where Jada was during February of 1995, which was, as we've already established, the only time she would have been able to see Tupac at Rikers since he was only there for less than a month. You see, Jada had already met Will Smith in 1994 on the set of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but Will Smith was married, and so nothing happened between them. But in February of 1995, Will Smith was served divorce papers by his wife. 5 days later, on February 19th, Will called Jada and said, "Are you single?" And she said, "Yep." Will said, "We're together now." Jada said, "Cool." And she immediately flew to LA. She flew so immediately that when he called her, she was in Maryland at a brand new house she bought, and she never spent a single night in her new house. That's how immediately she flew to LA.
Huh? Man, y'all busters can't catch me. Man, y'all need to come on, huh? All right, guys. Who did we get? Who was gonna get you? We not good.
He
was like a different type of dude. Like he didn't even look. You could come shake your ass in his face, and he's just like,
nope, not looking anywhere.
You know what I
That's
mean?
a husband.
Yeah.
Where he at now?
He's
What
married.
happened?
He's married.
Desi- I know a husband when I hear one.
I wouldn't say I fucked that up, but no,
Okay.
he was there for a time, and he was a good man in my 20s, but he was a lot older than me, and he was complacent. He was complacent in a certain lifestyle, a certain financial bracket, and there's just a certain life that I'm always going to be trying to chase, and so it would have never worked.
In America, there's no such thing as being good enough for the modern woman. NGE. A modern woman could have a whole conversation about how good you are to her, and then in that conversation downing you because you were too good to her. We live in a timeline where more men have lost their wives for being too nice than for sleeping with the side. You ain't gotta fuss and fight for her to chunk the dice and try her luck with another man and suck his pipe. And all she needs for her to up and leave is for you to be everything she needs. Now she's for the streets over wants and desires and won't be back until that cunt's expired. And once she's tired of pump and dump empire, she's gonna fake admire a lonely chump for hire. I'll be the first to admit the modern woman ain't shit. And if you think that ain't it, then go on and watch this clip.
Rivera, I'm glad you're getting a divorce. Mrs. Rivera, I will say this to you. You're foolish. You had a good thing. As soon as it wasn't a perfect thing, it made you angry. Nobody's ever going to be perfect. You most certainly are not perfect. And the next guy you get is not going to be perfect. And unless you're willing to put up with a little bit of, they say for better or for worse for a reason. It's not going to be all lollipops and sunshine. And when it's not lollipops and sunshine for your husband, you at least give him a lollipop. You might not be able to make the sun shine, but you can give him a lollipop, and you didn't do it. You decided that your marriage was about you, for you, and because of you, and when he hit a rough patch, you were like, I'm sick of you. I'm tired of it. You're not a king and wonderful anymore because you're not doing everything I want to. You're no longer Mr. Perfect, and I have no obligation to give anything to you. That's tired and that's sad, and he's a good dude.
In Western society, if you a good man with a good heart, you're gonna see more failure in relationships than a licensed professional marriage counselor in Miami. Ask yourself, what is the hood? What are ghettos in America? The hood is a collection of single mothers that all date the same dude, the thug. And the thug will bust in more walls than the Kool-Aid man and reside inside more thighs than a rich white guy in Thailand. Being a loving, loyal, dutiful husband will get you about as much respect as the person that came in last place in a 1,000-man race. Tyrese is the perfect poster boy example that a solid prenup cannot save you from a level 99 chameleon's evil shenanigans. Samantha Lee is still running around trying to convince some idiot high-value man that she understands the needs of all men. A level 99 chameleon is the type of woman that tries to fully convince a red pill aware dude that she's not like all other women. How else do you think that she was able to ride the manosphere's metaphorical pogo stick to social media success?
If I had different people in my ear at that time, I would not have made that decision. No. Wow. I wouldn't. And that's the truth. I try my very best at this point in my life to be what I didn't have in that moment. Because I think that I was... Women, we're like, I'm an extremely emotional person. People that know me know that about me. I'm the kind of person that like, okay, I feel so strong, and I can ruminate. I can get so lost in my thoughts. I know a lot of women are like that. Like we're a lot, not all of us, right? But some of us are. Just like a lot of men can be like that. But I know women specifically, I'm ready to be done. I'm ready to be done. I'm ready to be done. I can't stand this. He don't do this. He don't do that. Blah, 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 blah. And we're just focusing on these things. And because you don't have a certain person in your life to check you and say, sis, what about this? What about this? What about these strengths? What about what he's not doing? What, like those types of things. That can get you thinking about the positive aspects of this person that you may not be thinking about when you're upset. You're only thinking about what you're mad about. Yeah. You're not thinking about all the other positive aspects of this person. And so in those moments, you need somebody to be the person for that person.
Yeah.
In those moments.
Now, if you crazy enough to believe Samantha, then you probably crazy enough to believe in the Easter Bunny too. Women aren't sorry. That's why you rarely hear them say it.
Okay, baby, I'm sorry. Simple. You know that I was going to not, but I never meant to do that way, but you never think of my feelings. You don't know that I love you, but at the same time you dislike me. At the same time I get angry and multiple and you don't care, but I do forgive you, but at the same time you think, okay baby, I'm sorry, you gotta think for my feelings, but yeah, I'm sorry.
And if you do hear him say it, it's usually under the same conditions that they would say to you, I promise. It's just a way for them to finesse their way out of the situation. Everybody's speaking out. Therapists, marriage counselors, hell, the manosphere has went mainstream media. The Western modern woman is the worst woman in human history. Look, man, I know it's not all women's fault. It's they mama's fault too. I blame the Western woman and her mother-loving mama. All jokes aside, pulling off a successful marriage is hard. Pulling off a successful lifelong commitment is hard. But Samantha over here is trying to pull off some tricks like black women be trying to pull off them wigs.
Oh, that's nasty.
Now, you know it's bad when there are so many women calling out other women. And I'm not talking about grifters in the manosphere like Samantha. I'm talking about women of renown. What makes marriage so bad is the ease of leaving and the lack of consequence for women. How many women are homeless because a man decided that she was born and wants to sue her and take her kids away for some extra money? How many women are in prison for back child support? How many women actually fear family court? How many women have watched other women lose good men, regret it, and then turn around and do it themselves, expecting a different result? How many times we gotta sit back and watch men be told how bad we are while also watching good men go through the worst? What's the incentive to be a good man in America? What's the reward other than divorce? And what makes this so bad is the majority of women that get married are so fat they gotta book 2 seats in an airplane.
Is this your seat?
But anyway, man, that's the video for today. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like the damn video. Be sure to click here to see why misandry is the new women's rights in America. If you're missing my shorts, be sure to follow me on Instagram at nge_nevergoodenough. And if you want to do some business with me, be sure to hit me up on my email at ngenevergoodenough@gmail.com. And remember, become the change you want to see. It's your boy, NGE. Peace.